to do Sadie's haircut in a different spot today. So actually, while I was getting set up, she just didn't understand what I was doing and she got a little nervous. So I made sure to get her out and let her go potty, and I allowed her some time to kind of calm down and just reassure her that, there was nothing abnormal going on today. But somehow dogs have fifth senses, and she just knew that something was going to go on today. Anyway, Sadie is a mini American Eskimo, and she has a very fine but very thick coat. And she's one of those breeds of dogs where they also have what's called an undercoat. And the majority of people don't trim the hair on these type of dogs. But she blows her coat really, really bad in the spring. And right now she is just leaving clumps of hair all over the house. Plus she's very, very itchy because she has been blowing her coat. And when dogs are shedding, they do get itchy. But anyway, I choose to trim her just because it makes a better environment for both her and us to coexist. Yeah, we like coexisting together, don't we? Yeah, such a good girl. Anyway, so as a homesteader and as somebody who is very frugal, obviously I do trim her here at home. I like to save that money, and so if this is something that possibly will, I guess, show you that just a normal person can do this, and maybe save you a few dollars at home also, that is my intention of this video today. So we're just going to get started. I have a couple of different clippers, and both of them are the Andes brand clippers. And I do like to have two pairs of clippers on hand, just in case I run into trouble with one pair. I have the other one just ready to grab. And another thing that I have is a little battery operated one. This is actually an Oster battery operated one, and it's a much smaller clipper. And this is really good for getting in between the pads on the feet. And since Sadie is a dog that technically is kind of a snow type hardy dog, you can see that on the bottom of her feet, she gets just extreme growth in between the pads. This makes it really, it's good for insulating her outside. We do put boots on her when it's below zero, but in here in the house on like the linoleum floors and the wood stairs, stair treads going up into the upper part of the house, it makes it really, really slippery for her. So I always make sure to trim those also. And she really needs a nail trim today. So we're just gonna have a little spa day here today. Do you want to sit down for just a minute while I talk? No, you're too nervous. Okay, that's all right, honey. You can sit if you want to. But anyway, what I have done is I have just taken an old board and I have clamped it onto, I don't know if I can push her back just a little bit. I have clamped it onto my bathroom sink basin just to make sure that it's stable and it gives her a good surface, a secure feeling underneath her. And this gives me a really wonderful surface to trim her, in a place where I can, number one, easily clean it up, and it's right at a very good working height for me. You're such a good girl. Mama loves you. So anyway, so that is my surface. Sometimes during the summer, if she needs a trim also, we do, I take her outside and set up a table outside so that all of the fur and stuff stays out there. But right now it's still really, really cold in our neck of the woods. And after I do get her trimmed up, I will be assisting her in keeping warm, especially when she's outside, by putting a coat on her, a dog coat on her. But here in the house lately, she's just been panting so much just because we're in between seasons, and she still has her winter coat and it's starting to warm up in the house a little bit. And so this is going to make her more comfortable also. Now, I technically do not wash her or give her a bath before I trim her. I find it's just much easier to bathe her after she has been trimmed. Cutting fur, cutting wet fur does not work at all. And to bathe her and get her completely dry before I trim her just is a it just is not efficient for me. So I trim her first and then I bathe her afterwards. But one of the things that you do need to keep in mind is that if you are trimming dirty or matted fur, it will shorten the life of your clippers. So the cleaner your dog is, the better. But as you can see, you know, she's an indoor dog. She doesn't have caked on mud or a lot of oils or anything like that going on. And so I just go ahead and I trim her without bathing her first. Now, I'm not going to say that she's going to look like she has been to a professional groomer when I am done. But in the years that I have been doing this with her, I have developed, I guess, kind of decent skills. When you are trimming your dog, you always want to go with the grain of the fur, and the longer the strokes, long, smooth strokes that you can take, the better. If you kind of start trimming and stop and start and stop, you're going to get a real chopped up look. And so long strokes with the shaver is best. Another couple little things that I will say about the trimmers is that I always have a very soft bristle toothbrush. and this is what I clean my razor with, is these just this old toothbrush with soft bristles. Another thing, no honey, you're not going to get down, I'm sorry. Yeah, sit down. Good girl, good girl. Another thing that you really need to think about doing consistently through your trimming process is that you need to oil your blades. Okay, just get this is called clipper oil, okay? And periodically oil your blades, because if the blades become dry, they become hot and it can burn the skin of your dog. And so constantly be checking and making sure that this is not getting too hot to touch your dog's skin. So I have oiled my clippers just to begin with, and I will periodically oil them through the process. And we're just going to go ahead and get started. Right, sweetheart? Are you ready? Are you ready? Now, about the time that I turn this on, she's going to stand right up. She gets kind of nervous. Oh, you're not going to stand up today, huh? Okay, well, I need you to stand up. Can you stand up, sweetheart? That girl. Come on. That girl. Okay, here we go. We're going to get all this messy stuff off you, baby. All right? Here we go. I choose to take her all the way down. I do not put a guard on my clippers just because her fur does grow so quickly. I take opportunities as they come, you know, as she changes her stance. If I see something that I want to touch up and it's in a really good angle, that is when I do it. I just don't really force her, as least as I can. I try not to force her to stand certain ways or in positions that are uncomfortable. I work with her and try to stay in her comfort zone. Isn't that right? Yeah. Okay, sweetheart. We're at a point where I've got to get to your face, okay? Let's work on the neck again. Good girl. Good girl. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Okay. Let's check your chin out here. Perfect. Oh, you're so good. So good. Let's do this again. Such a good girl. Okay, I know you don't like this part. Actually, you know what? We'll do that with the battery. Okay, what I'm going to do, let me check this. I'm going to have you turn around here in a second when Mama gets everything cleaned up again. You're doing such a good job, honey bun. Look at all that. Look at all that floof. You have so much floofs. Oh, you're so floofy. Good girl. Excuse me, your tail is in the way. Poof, poof. Your tail is in the way. Let me check this mat out here. What are we dealing with? You know what? We're just going to trim you up just a little bit higher on your tail, and we're just going to take that one mat right off. There we go. That looks good. We're going to have to wash your bottom and then trim up the rest of that stuff right there. Okay, let's get this one last foot. I'm going to have you turn just a little bit this way. Good girl. I know that scared you. It vibrated on the wood, didn't it? I'm sorry. I try to avoid that noise. Okay. We are almost done, sweetie. I just do a little extra trim work with this little battery operated one. And I do use this between her pads, but I can tell my battery is dying here today. I just put a brand new battery in. It must have been an old battery or Probably something from the dollar store that is just garbage. So I think I'm just going to call it quits for now, and I'll have to finish her feet up after I get another new battery in that little trimmer. And then I'll trim up between her pads and finish anything else up that I have not gotten with the big clippers. She's actually looking much, much better. Now I'm going to let her relax some more. We're going to take some time off because that was a big morning, wasn't it? Yeah, that was a big morning. So I will just have her just relax and have a normal time at home for a few hours, and then I'm going to finish up her feet. But like I said, you know, I might not be a professional, but you know, if I can do this, you can do it too. And honestly, you know, as you can see, she doesn't have, you know, I did really good so that I don't have razor marks throughout her coat. I tried to keep everything, you know, everything is nice and smooth. Now, like I said, I don't particularly do very well around the face. I'll have to trim up some little stray hairs here. I don't know what to do with her cute little face. I don't know, you know, she's got such long hair on the top of her head, and then the long hair kind of comes down on her cheeks. Oops, you're not in frame here, baby. The long hair kind of comes down on her cheeks, and then it gets really short by her muzzle. And it's really hard. I don't really like the look of her when I shave just everything off. She looks really goofy. So I like to have at least a little fur left on that face and on her forehead. So I'll just work with it now around the face and stuff. I'll probably try to blend things in just a little bit more with a pair of scissors and a comb. And you're just ready to get down. You look like a llama. Llama face, llama face. Anyway, I'll do a little bit more hand trimming after I've allowed her some time off. You know, she's pretty nervous at this point in time. It's been, you know, it's been probably, I don't know if it took me an hour or how long it took me, but it's been a while for her to be up here off of the floor and me, you know, making her get into different positions and working with her feet. She doesn't really like me to work with her feet, but we all know that that's just part of dog ownership. You got to do it whether they like it or not, for their health. But anyway, so right now we're just going to call it good. Such a good girl. Yes. And I will let her down, and then she can run off. We'll go outside and go potty, right, and maybe play with some toys and have a couple of treats. So after I get her all bathed up, maybe I'll take another short video just to show you the end result, and then you can let me know what you think. But like I said, I really feel like anybody can do this. If your dog is not as patient and trusting, you might have to tie them, you know, so that they can't get away from you or whatever. I'm lucky she doesn't try to do that, so I don't feel the need to have a collar or a tie on her at all while I'm trimming her up. She's a really good hair client, aren't you? Yeah. And she always leaves me a tip by snuggling up next to me at night in bed. That's the way she gives me a tip. So anyway, until I get her bathed, I guess that's it for now. So we'll be back in a few hours with the end results. Come on, sweetheart. You were so good. Yes, you were. Can you shake? Oh, such a good girl. Such a good girl. Here. Show everybody how pretty you look. Come on over here. Come on over here. Let's get your butt. Come on. Let's get your butt this way. There. There we are, honey. All right, so I have completed Sadie's haircut. I gave her a little bit of a day off, just because getting trimmed up kind of stresses her a little bit, and I try to be pretty careful about how much I push her So she's not too stressed out. But as you can see, even though I am not a trained professional in any means, you can see that I do not have any real bad razor marks. I think I did a pretty good job. I always have problems. I will be completely honest. I have problems with her head because she has this long hair on her forehead that kind of goes back into her back. And I don't like shaving her bald up here just because if I shave her bald up here like the rest of her body, she kind of looks goofy. So I like a little bit of fur on her head, but I don't know how to graduate it quite right, but I didn't butcher it, so it's not too bad. We got all of her lady bits all cleaned up and trimmed and finished, and we worked on the tear stains a little bit. You can see that her eyes, here, can you put your nose down? You can see that her eyes look a lot better. You know, she gets these very classic tear stains just at the edges of her eyes, and those look better. And we got her toenails clipped, and I finished up all the excess fur in between the pads. So yeah, we had a bath, a haircut. We went to the spa and had a great spa day, didn't we? So even though Sadie is what we consider to be our farm dog, you know, she's just my little princess, and sometimes little princesses have to be dressed up as little princesses. We are still cold here. We still have snow on the ground. Spring is coming, but it is still pretty cold. Even though, you know, her body was telling her that, hey, I'm too warm, I'm going to blow my coat all over mommy and daddy's house. It's still pretty cold outside. So I do provide her with a sweater. And even farm girls like to feel pretty. So she'll wear her pretty little necklace for a couple of days, just because she is mommy's princess. Such a good girl, such a pretty girl. I trimmed up her tail a little bit so that the poof was a little bit more even. I do with her, can I have you stand up, honey? I do with her, I like to trim the hair on her tail down quite a bit, you know. So if she's not doing her little teacup handle, you know, because mostly she does stand like this, but sometimes if she's relaxed or whatever, she'll let her tail hang down. And so I do like to trim the hair all the way around the tail down quite a few inches, just to kind of keep it cleaner, you know, when she goes potty. But I'd say for a haircut at home, that's not so bad. I don't do so bad, do I, sweetie? No, I don't. Here, sit down. Yep. Sit down. Let's get your ears up. Can you put your ears up? What is that? Put your ears up. What is that? Oh, there. Ears were almost up. Ears were almost up. You're not going to put them up, are you? Anyway, I didn't do too bad on the ears today either. Or yesterday, I guess. It was yesterday. Yeah, because we gave you some time off, didn't we? Anyway, I'd say that she looks pretty good. You know, not that I really know very much at all about trimming dogs at home, but I feel like if I can do it, you can do it too. Oh, do you see yourself? Look at here. You see yourself on the screen? Who is that? Who is that? Anyway, I feel like if I can do it, you can do it too. So, you know, even though I might not have a whole lot of technically professional tips or anything like that, maybe I'll give somebody the courage to try it. The first few times that I did trim her, it was an absolute mess. I had razor lines all over the place. It was just ridiculous. But you do kind of learn how to do it as you go. You know, since we are out in the country, You know, a few days growth covers up a whole lot of mistakes when you're cutting the coat on a dog. So, you know, those first couple of times, if it goes kind of rough and you just look at your dog and you go, oh, what did I do? It'll grow back. It'll be okay. And for us, it's just a lot easier, particularly when she's blowing her coat. You know, we don't particularly like waking up in the middle of the night. She does sleep on our bed with us, and when she's shedding really bad, her fur gets all over the blankets, and we don't like waking up at night and kind of choking and whatever else on her fur that has fallen out and gotten into our blankets. And so it's just easier for us if I do go ahead and trim her in the spring when she's blowing her coat. Now, sometime in July, I'll probably give her one more trim, and then I allow her to grow her full coat out once more for winter time because it is so cold here. But she's a patient little girl, and I don't think I do half shabby for somebody who doesn't have any training on it. And like I said, if I can do it, you can do it too. I hope that somebody took something good away from this video. When you're a homesteader, you just kind of do everything on your own. You kind of fend for yourself. You try to save money wherever you can. This is one of those ways that we do try to save money. You know, not that we, you know, suggest that you do everything at home. We don't suggest that at all. Sometimes you really do need a professional. But I think that a trim on your dog's hair is something that we all can learn how to do, with just a little bit of practice and patience. So anyway, until we meet again, God bless you all.